right, guys. The last video got a little bit glitchy toward the end, so I'm going to do these last two pages on a separate video. My apologies for the inconvenience. Christopher is working as a car salesman. He makes a base salary of $500 per week, plus $120 for every car that he sells. Christopher's goal is to make at least $1,000 this week. How many cars must he sell to meet his goal? Okay, so in my key information box, I know the following. I know that his base is 500 a week. Okay, and I know that he makes 120 per car. So his goal is to make at least, $1,000. How many cars does he need to sell? So I'm going to need to go ahead because of this at least and make an inequality. Okay, so I have 500 plus 120 C. Okay, so the 500 is the base pay, the 120 is the per car, and the C is the number of cars, is greater than or equal to $1,000. And I'll go ahead and subtract 500. Subtract 500. So I have 120C is greater than or equal to $500. I'm going to divide both sides by 120. Okay, and so I'm actually going to do that on my calculator. 500 divided by 120. And that looks like 4.166666 repeating on and on and on. Uh-oh, looks like I'm having another, oh, here we go. Okay, so I have C is equal to 4.166666 on and on and on, but we know that you're not going to sell 0.16 of a car. So we know that he needs to sell 5 cars in order to reach that minimum of $1,000. Miss Ng is buying snacks for her students. She already spent $15 on candy and wants to buy chips, which cost $3 per bag. Miss Ng wants to spend no more than $40 on snacks. How many bag of chips can she buy and stay within her budget? So she has $15 on candy. She wants to buy chips. They're $3 per bag. She doesn't want to spend any more than $40. So how many bag of chips can she buy to stay within her budget? So again, I'm going to do an inequality. This one is going to be a little different. I have that $15 on candy plus $3 per bag of chips. We'll call that 3x. Has to be less than or equal to $40. We do not want to spend any more than that. So I'll subtract 15 from both sides. Excuse me. 40 minus 15 is going to give me 25. And then I have 3x is less than or equal to 25. I divide both sides by 3, and I know that 3 is going to go into 25. It looks like 8 1/3, right? So I know that she can't buy more than 8 bags of chips. So her x here is less than or equal to 8 bags of chips because we're not going to be buying more than, we're not going to be buying 1/3 of a bag of chips. And gentlemen, we have almost come to the end of this road, and I think my computer is even more tired than you or I could be. When Christian packed his suitcase for an upcoming trip, he wanted the total weight to be less than 50 pounds. He wanted the total weight to be less than 50 pounds. So far, the total weight is 36 pounds. He wanted to add books that weigh 4 pounds each. How many books could he add to his suitcase? Write and solve an inequality and graph the solution on a number line. Okay, so if this is an open response question on an exam, I promise you that 1 point is going to be for the inequality that you write. 1 point is going to be for if you solve that inequality correctly, and 1 point is going to be on if you graph the solution on the number line correctly. And yes, you can earn partial credit. You can earn partial credit. If you were to say, write the equation incorrectly but solve it correctly, you would earn partial credit for solving an equation. And let's say you did all of it right and then graphed it incorrectly, you could still earn partial credit for that. So no matter what, we don't give up. No matter what, we try to do the best we can on each and every single problem. Okay, so I know that my total has to be less than 50 pounds. I know that he already has 36 pounds and he wants to add these books that are 4 pounds each. Okay, so I have 36 plus 4B has to be less than 50. And what we can assume is that once he hits 50 pounds, he's charged extra. So we've got to be less than 50 pounds. So, excuse me, I'm going to go ahead and subtract 36 from both sides. All right, and that gives me 14. So now I have 4B is less than 14. If I'll write it over here so it's a little neater. If I divide both sides by 4, I'm left with B is less than, and then let's see, it would be 3.5, right? 3 1/2. We know he's not going to take 1/2 of a book. So the maximum number of books that he can add to his suitcase is 3. I'll go ahead and draw a number line. Okay, and it doesn't even have to be a super long number line. All right, so I'm going to go 0, 1, 2, 3. And I know that in this case, so this is a little bit weird. He can add 3 books. He can add 3.5 books. So even though with a less than, I normally leave this circle open, in this particular case, he can have 3 books. So I'm actually going to go ahead, even though it's not less than or equal to, I'm going to go ahead and close it. So if he adds, I'm going to explain this one again because I don't like that this is how this ended up. If he does add 3 books, he's only going to be at 12 pounds, and so he would end up being 2 pounds below the 48. So I am going to close this. He can add 3 books, even though we have that sign that says less than. All right, Hajim wants to save up enough money so that he can buy a new sports equipment set that costs more than $50. He has had $15 saved from his birthday. In order to make money, Hajim plans to wash cars, and he will charge $3 for each car he washes. How many cars could Hajim wash to afford the equipment set? So I want to use an algebraic method to solve, which is what we did up here, and then graph the solution on a number line. Okay, so our goal here is to have this $50 set, right? And it cost, in fact, more than $50 goal. We have 15 saved, and he is going to wash cars for $3 per car, which is very inexpensive. So I'm going to go 15 plus 3C is greater than $50. So how many cars could Hajim wash to afford the equipment? So minus 15 here, minus 15 here. So I have 3C is equal to 35. I'll divide both sides by 3, divide both sides by 3. And so C, to get me exactly $50, is going to equal 11 2/3. All right, and that would get me to exactly $50. He wants to make more than $50. He apparently doesn't know how much more than $50 he wants to make. So he needs to wash. Okay. I'm gonna go. He needs to wash. I'll put the 0. This will be my 11, my 12, my 13. So I am going to open this because he does need to wash more than 11 cars. Okay. And at minimum, he really needs to wash 12. All right, gentlemen, we have come, I believe, to the end of this work. Thank you so much for your hard work. Tomorrow's going to be awesome. I'm really proud of all the work that you've done, and I hope you have a great and restful night.